Hola, buenos dias. Hoy es el 7 de abril. This is session 5. Today we'll start with the Padre Nuestro. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas, como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en la tentación y líbranos del mal. Amen. Today we're going to continue with Capítulo 6a about your bedroom. You guys did great work last week. We're going to start by looking at an example of that. Thank you to whomever I borrowed this from. If you remember last week, just a quick review, you used the verbs I and tiene to talk about the things in your room, just a simple description. So these were done very well. In this photo, you can see hay un escritorio en mi dormitorio y hay una cómoda en mi dormitorio. There is a desk and a dresser in my bedroom. Now we'll notice just a couple of mistakes here in the next two sentences that I want to address. For example, in números 3 and 4, 3 and 4, they said tiene una cama y tiene la alfombra. Tiene here would not be correct. I would use tengo. Tengo una cama en mi dormitorio. I have a bed in my bedroom. The reason I use tiene in my directions is because I'm referring to the bedroom itself. In other words, if I said mi dormitorio tiene una cama, my bedroom has a bed, then my bedroom becomes the subject and tiene is conjugated to agree. Otherwise, here in 3 and 4, the way this is written, I would say tengo una cama and tengo una alfombra en mi dormitorio. Lastly, hay una mesita de noche en mi dormitorio. Very good. And again, these were just identifying the things that were in your room. Part B had 2 questions of review from last week's content. ¿De qué color es tu dormitorio? What color is your bedroom? And número 2, ¿cómo es tu dormitorio? What is your room like? There are some additional adjectives on the right. You just saw these in the Quizlet and on the quiz today to use to describe our bedroom in a little more detail besides grande and pequeño. For example, we have limpio y sucio. Limpio is clean, sucio is its opposite, dirty. Cómodo y incómodo, comfortable and uncomfortable. Ordenado y desordenado, organized and disorganized. Section C was using the verb estar. Estar is used to tell how you feel and where you are. In this case, each of these were where different items were in your room. Donde está? Okay. When you answer that question in a complete sentence, like you were asked to do, you should start with the item in the question. So, ¿dónde está tu cama? La cama está. The bed is located. Then give the preposition to say where it is, al lado de. And finally, the second item. It's next to, but I need to know what it's next to. La mesita de noche. If you find that you made any mistakes on this homework from last week, you can always go back and revise it and resubmit for more credit. Okay, so to add to the information from last week, we're going to use those adjectives to start comparing one bedroom to another. If you look here, this document, Making Comparisons, is very similar to the comparisons worksheet that you have for homework today. If you want to open that and look at it at the same time, most of the notes are already there and there really isn't a need to take them down again. So if you want to go ahead and open up comparisons in Schoology, you will find these same notes in that worksheet, and you can just add anything that you'd like to it there. At the top, it says, just as you can use más que to compare two things, you can also use menos que. So in comparisons, más que means more than. We used that with me gusta in the past. Me gusta más, I like this more than something else. And menos que means less than. The adjectives here in this chart have an irregular form of comparison. So just like in English, we can't say something is more good than, we have to say it's better than. We don't say es bueno, es más bueno que. We say es mejor que. Okay? And the same thing works for peor. With viejo and joven, old and young, the words change completely to mayor que and menor que. So, for example, if I said mi abuelo es más viejo que yo, my grandfather is older than I, this would really be incorrect. The correct way to say that would be es mayor que yo, is older than I. You can see here that typically in a comparison, we use the verb ser, then we use the comparison word, the adjective, and the que to compare those items. And we'll look at that again down below here in numbers 1, 2, and 3. The last important point is in this chart, it says mejor, peor, mayor, and menor have plural forms that end in es. The one thing about the plural, when you are saying more than one thing, los videos, okay, plural, the videos, es also has to change to son because it's plural. Mejor changes to mejores. If you remember, when one word in a sentence becomes plural, they all must become plural. Okay, so now you have a couple of activities on that worksheet you can go ahead and work through if you want to pause the video here. And then when you're done working through the note part of the sheet, right through activity C, you can come back to the video. Okay, let's look at this example here of the 2 bedrooms from the textbook. You have El Dormitorio de Paco. Remember that we can't say Paco's dormitorio. Everything's backwards. El Dormitorio de Paco, bedroom A, and El Dormitorio de Kiko, bedroom B. The question says, ¿Qué cuarto es más ordenado? What room is more organized? If I want to answer that question, I would start with the room that is more organized. So room A is more organized, or El Dormitorio de Paco. Now when I organize my sentence, I use the form of the verb ser first. So es, más, more, organized, ordenado. Then I need que, el dormitorio de Kiko. Okay, and that's the correct structure for my sentence. Number 2, que dormitorio es menos limpio? What bedroom is less clean? We can't really tell that Kiko's bedroom is dirty, but it is definitely messy. So we could say the less clean one is el dormitorio de Kiko es menos limpio que el dormitorio de Paco. And the third one is very much your opinion. ¿Qué dormitorio es mejor? What bedroom is better? Para mí, for me, in my opinion, para mí, el dormitorio de Paco es mejor, is better. And again, if I want to give my opinion, I can say para mí. You can compare many different things in a bedroom. For example, you could compare the number of items that you see. If you're going to do that, we don't always use the verb ser. So let me just show you a couple of different comparisons that can be made. If I wanted to say that mi dormitorio tiene, my bedroom has more space than my sister's, I could say mi dormitorio tiene más espacio que el dormitorio de mi hermana. So you'll notice here I did the same thing as before. I used más espacio que. The only difference is for the verb, I use tiene instead of es. So you don't always have to use es. The verb ser, it depends on what we're talking about. If we're talking about objects, I could say mis estantes, my shelves. Now because shelves is plural, I'm going to use tienen, my shelves have, más libros que tus estantes. My shelves have more books than your shelves. Okay, so again, TNN this time because, oh, lo siento. TNN this time because it goes with shelves, plural. Más libros, okay, more books than. And you'll notice instead of an adjective this time, I used a noun. I was comparing things. Okay, one more quick example here before you try some on your own. If I wanted to tell you that my bed is more comfortable, I could say mi cama. Now again, here I'm going to need the verb ser because I'm describing traits, physical traits of two things. Es más cómodo que tu cama. My bed is more comfortable than your bed. Now, one thing you should notice, should jump out at you, but if it doesn't, is that cama is feminine and ends in an A, so cómodo must be feminine and end in an A. So you have to also make sure your adjective agrees with the thing you're describing, in this case, the bed. Okay, so now that you've had some review on how to make comparisons, you should be able to do part D of the worksheet. And part D on the worksheet is using the pictures of the bedrooms that you see here. I would probably, to keep it simple, let's call this Dormitorio A and Dormitorio B, and that will make your comparisons a little easier. So for example, I could say something like Dormitorio A tiene más ropa que Dormitorio B. Okay, and then that should be a little bit easier in your comparisons. All right, so you can go ahead and work on part D on your worksheet. And then when you're finished, please submit that to the comparisons. Make sure you use your notes, okay, and you read through things carefully. Take your time. Once you finished the comparisons assignment, I'm just going to show you how you're also use comparisons to talk about people. Obviously, we can compare more things than bedrooms. We could compare to classes at school, to sports, giving our opinions, okay, and to people. So in this drawing, you can see Felipe and Monica. Felipe is obviously younger than Monica. He's shorter than Monica. There's a lot of different comparisons that we could make. I just want to give you two examples so you can see how it works with people. Here you have numero uno, Felipe, and Sergio. We would say Felipe es más serio que Monica. Sergio can stay with an O on the end because we're describing Felipe. Whereas in numero tres, if we want to say Monica is blonder than Felipe, kind of a strange statement, we would say Monica es más rubia. Again, just making sure that our adjective agrees with the person we're describing. Okay, Felipe. Okay, and I think you get the point. We don't need to do the others, but if you have any questions or something here doesn't make sense, obviously you can post to the discussion board. All right, the last for today is looking at two stem change verbs. We talked about stem change verbs before the world turned upside down. And here we have two others, poder and dormir. I believe poder is one that my students looked at previously. But just a quick review of the two of them. The verb dormir means to sleep, of course, because we're talking about a dormitorio, the place where we sleep. You'll notice the similarity here in the roots of the word. We need to be able to say I sleep, etc. So in the 6-pack for dormir, it's important that you first recognize it as an IR verb. So we use IR verb endings, O, es, a, imos, and N. And then second of all, we realize that the O in this stem change, changes to a UE. And that only happens here inside the boot. Sometimes these are boot verbs. Or in all forms except nosotros. So in other words, we're going to make a UE stem change here. And here we are not. So this verb is left alone, dormimos. Everywhere else it becomes duermo, duermes, duerme, and duermen. So if I want to say, I sleep in my room, yo duermo en mi dormitorio. Mi hermano duerme en su dormitorio. Nosotros dormimos en nuestros dormitorios. The other stem change verb in this unit is poder, which means to be able to. And you've seen this one from the beginning because poder is the one we use when we ask, ¿Puedo ir al baño? Can I go to the bathroom? So I don't believe this verb is new. If you look at it though, it is an ER verb. So this time we use ER endings, OS, hemos, and N. And then just like dormir, it is also a O to UE verb. So those changes happen inside the boot, but it is left alone in the nosotros form. So we have puedo, puedes, puede, and pueden. And this one does not change, podemos. Okay, so please take a minute and write this verb down. Again, you might just want to write it on the worksheet where you're going to be using it. That worksheet was called Dormir y Poder in your assignments for today. And you can go ahead and then submit that after you do that. And again, be very careful with your spelling. Make sure you use your notes here, your two charts, so that you don't get any wrong. Okay, that's all for today. You do not need to submit a copy of your notes because most of your notes are in your homework, so I will see that when you turn those in. And that's it. That concludes session 5. So I hope you all have a very nice Easter. Definitely going to be a different one this year, but try to make the most of it and enjoy your time off, and we will be back together shortly. Adios.